Hello everybody and welcome back to Everything Created. Today I'm going to be repotting these three plants. I have no idea how I'm going to do that on camera, but I'm going to try because I have a microphone hooked to me. Y'all are on a tripod and I'm trying to keep myself out of the frame, but I know I won't be able to do that completely. So this is a Kimberly queen fern. It's in this little pot. It's like, I don't know, maybe a 6-inch pot. Looks like less than a 6-inch possibly, but it's really nice looking, but it just needs a bigger place. So I'm going to, whenever I take this out of this pot, I'm going to put it in one of those pots because they're nicer looking and they're bigger. And I'm going to show you one of these two. These two, I always put them, oh, it's heavy. I always put them in matching pots because I got them both at my grandma's funeral like years ago. I think it was 2016 or yeah, somewhere in there. Anyway, this one is suffering from being root bound. It just dries out too fast, and that causes a lot of moisture stress, which in turn causes leaves to yellow. So like these yellow leaves are just everywhere. So I have to take it out of the pot, and then I have to do something about some of those leaves, even though that's going to be a lot of work. And then I have these pots over here that are they're very, very much larger, and they're silvery, and they're good. I have two of these identical ones because they match, and that's just what I've always done with these plants. So I'm going to be editing as I go along, but I'm going to film this all in one shot, hopefully. So I have this method that I like to do. It works a lot easier on softer pots because you can actually like squish the sides. You are going to have to spill dirt. I don't think there's any way to repot a plant without spilling some dirt. So since this pot is not soft at all, I can't really squish the sides of it. Normally I would take a pot like, I'll go ahead and show you with this fern. You can squeeze the sides of the pot just a little bit, and that helps loosen up the roots. I've already looked at these roots, so it's fairly even in there. But normally that works out pretty well. If not, give your plant a little time to dry up before you try to repot it, so that way it won't stick as much to the container. But I was able to actually grab the base of this and pull it up. So you can see there, it's not 100, there's an isopod. It's not 100% root bound, but it's pretty bad. I mean, there's some soil in here, but for the most part, it's very root bound. So this pot is like 100% of the weight. That is so heavy. And what you're going to do with the roots like this, they're used to growing in a spiral, and you don't want them to keep growing in a spiral. You want them to fill into the new pot and really get a feel for their space. So since I have this out, I'm going to take a bunch of these leaves off, but I won't make you watch that because that's boring. But actually I will show you kind of what I'm doing. So when you find a leaf, go down to the base, and I'm trying to watch the camera, but I really need to be watching the plant. So go down to the base, and then try to pull. If it doesn't come, then push down. So with one finger, push down, and then pull out. So that'll help you if they're kind of getting stuck. That'll really help take them out. I don't like to cut them. If you cut the leaves, then you'll have these ugly bare stems sticking out, and I don't like that. So I'm going to show you one more thing. I lost it. So if you are just kind of looking at the base as you go along and grabbing stems, you can almost always see a stem is going to be yellow too if a leaf is doing bad. So the stems turn yellow too. So I'm just going to keep taking these off. Just wanted to pause to show you that. So I accidentally popped off a leaf that was okay, but it's not a big deal. It'll grow new ones. It's a very tough plant. So this is looking much better already. It's still got some yellow leaves, but they should resolve themselves. Since they're not totally dead yet, those leaves can actually still kind of pull out of it. But all these leaves that you see here on the floor, those are all the leaves that I took off of this. So now, when you're actually repotting it, these roots, like I was starting to say earlier, they're used to growing in a circle, but you don't want them growing in a circle anymore. You want them to kind of open up and explore the new territory. So I like to push the whole thing together, two hands, just kind of push them together and pull them apart a little bit. Push together, pull apart, push together, pull apart. And keep doing that. You can also take a knife if it's really, really bad and cut some of this, but I don't like to do that unless I have to, because it's always better if you can spare the roots. I've actually never had to do that before, they always just kind of come apart for me. You will end up breaking some of them, but that's okay. They'll grow new ones, especially with a plant like a peace lily, because I mean they're extremely tough. Okay, now that these roots are mangled up pretty good, I'm going to go ahead and get an idea of how much dirt I need to put in the bottom of the pot before I actually put the plant in there. So what I like to do is you're going to want your soil level to be about 1 inch lower than the lip of the pot. So hold your plant in there where it needs to go, and then that'll help you get a general idea of where you need to fill your soil to in the pot. So I've marked right there with my finger, and I've just decided that about right there is where I'm going to put it, or fill it with soil. So let me see, that's about 5 inches down from the top.
Having some tripod problems there. Okay.
I'm going to just look at this here. I'm not sure if I'm completely decided on this level yet, but this is pretty close to where I had marked with my finger. So I'm going to try setting it down there. That looks good. So I'm going to set it there and just kind of let it stand on its own if it's a plant that will do that for you. And then I might need a scooping device of some kind. I'm going to use this little planting pot here, and I'm just going to scoop up soil and keep putting it around the root ball. So once you lightly put a lot of the soil in there, you might want to use your hands and kind of pack it down a bit. Because once you water it, it'll knock a lot of the soil down, and if you have it super puffy and light and then you just set the plant in there, as you start watering it, it will compact down over time, and then you'll realize that you don't have very much soil at all. Okay, and just to give you a size reference of how big these are, I used an entire bag of potting soil for this one pot, and they're like 20-pound bags, so these are getting pretty big. So that one's done. I am on a 30-pound weight limit after my surgery, so I cannot pick it up and show you. So I'm going to move the camera down. I guess I'm going to try and do this. Okay. I'm also breathing heavy because I haven't done anything in so long because of the surgery. So there you can see I've kind of packed the dirt in a little bit, and I like to smooth it out. You don't have to, but I didn't put the soil down quite 1 inch from the top. I wasn't really thinking about it. But either way, it's not really a huge deal. It's just generally recommended so that way whenever you water your plants, it doesn't run off the sides. So it doesn't have to be exactly 1 inch, but about 1 inch will do. So there you have that one, and we're going to move on to the anthurium now. Okay, this one kind of scares me a little bit. It's got a bunch of these large leaves. They're very, very rigid. So they fold, but they're rigid. They're just firm. So got the microphone was over there. Don't know if you could hear me or not. Anyway, what I was saying is that these plants are very rigid, so I'm afraid that I'm going to snap off a lot of leaves as I try to take it out of the pot. I also don't even know if I'll be able to get it out of the pot, so I guess I'm just going to have to try it and see what happens. So I'm going to start by grabbing at the base and just try to lift the whole thing. Ah, it came out so easy. Looky there. Now that's not bad at all. Okay, this barely even needed to be repotted, apparently. I figured it would be even more root bound than the other. Well, now I don't even know what to do. Okay, so if your plants are like this, you don't even really need to mangle the roots. Just like loosen them a little bit maybe, so they'll start growing more out, but this is not bad. This is not really bad at all. I am shocked. I really figured this one would be root bound too. So I'm gonna mangle the roots a little bit. I'm already getting dirt all over the floor, you know, why stop now? So, okay then. I'm just like so surprised by that. All right, I'm gonna set this back in its pot and do the same thing. I'm gonna I have a pot here. I'm going to put dirt in this pot. Okay, so I was originally planning to break off some of these pieces. Let me show you these pieces. It's got a bunch of different sort of like stalks that come up, and whenever these plants get taller, those stalks get taller and they're bare and they're very ugly. So you can take cuttings from these. You could actually cut like right here. Oh, you can't see, can you? I'm gonna try to zoom in. Okay, let me see. So you could take a cutting from anywhere along the stalk where you see those little root nodes coming out. You could probably very easily take a cutting from there and start a new plant, so that way it wouldn't have that gangly look that they can sometimes get. But this one's not bad yet. There's a yellow leaf. I want to take it off. Look at that ugly leaf. And that's the best thing about these. Whenever anthurium get a dead leaf, it just pops off. And you can tell that they're just better than peace lilies. I love these things so much more than peace lilies. The leaves pop off when they're dead. They come out super easy. And even though it kind of did need to be repotted a little bit, it wasn't dying from it. So I think these things are way tougher than peace lilies. They hardly ever have any browning tips or anything like that. They're just they're just healthy and happy regardless of the circumstances. Anyway, I'm gonna try to plant this now. I'm gonna dig down in the soil a little bit. Oh boy. This one is going to be a pain, more so than the other one, because it's going to want to fall over on me. Okay, now this one is repotted as well. Try to get you a view of that. So basically just the same thing. I just kind of lifted up the leaves and put scoops of dirt in and packed them down. And I think it looks pretty good. I like these pots really well. So I'm going to move those over and we're going to go to the queen fern now. I want you guys to be able to see a little bit better. So I have this table. I got it for $10. It was awesome. It's very light, but it's also really strong. These pots, okay, I mean, I know that's not very impressive to you, but these pots are ridiculously heavy. Like, I'm lifting it with my left hand, but it's really hard to do. It's probably like, I don't know, I want to say 15 pounds, but I don't know if it is or not. You know what? I'm going to go weigh it. The scale said somewhere between 9 and 15 pounds. I couldn't get an accurate reading on it because it was too light for it to weigh. So this is a Kimberly queen fern. Her name is Kimberly. Yes, I named her, of course. Obviously I did. Duh. Don't act like that's not normal. So I'm going to pop this one out. Same thing as I did with the others, except I'm going to keep this pot. No, except I'm going to do everything over the top of this. Kimberly queen ferns have something very interesting. I want to show you guys. I want to ask you what this is going on down here. See if anybody out there knows by any chance. Give me 1 second to find one. Okay, these little bulbs they have, I'm going to go ahead and take one off. No, I'm not going to take it off. I'm just going to show you. Along the root system, they have these white circles. I'm going to zoom in. Zoom, zoom. Do you have any idea what those are? They're like basically fern potatoes, but I mean, I don't know, like, can they be propagated with those things? I went ahead and got one out, and I'm trying to propagate it. I just don't know if it'll work or not. I was going to see if anyone else had experience by any chance, but if not, that's fine. Okay, it's not super important to break up fern root balls because they don't really care. So I'm also kind of lazy. I know, shame on me, right? I'm gonna set her there.
Stay.
Get a scoop. I used all of my Miracle-Gro soil, so I'm switching over to my organic soil. I don't like to use the organic soil for plants as much, which, I mean, this actually has perlite in it, so it's not like I could use it in reptile enclosures anyway. But I don't know, I feel like I need to save the organic soil for something that really needs it. But also, calatheas. If you're repotting really sensitive plants, organic soil is way better for things like calathea or other prayer plants like Tenanthe, Stromanthe, and Maranta. Those are the prayer plants. Those are what they're called, the different varieties of them. Okay, I'm just going to really look around this. I want to make sure it's level in the pot because I do not want to have to repot it. It's really hard to tell. I'm going to try to pull these up and see if I can't see like where the middle of the plant is. Okay, I've decided that is it right there. And this isn't construction or anything, so it's not like it has to be perfect. I just want it to look good. Okay, so there's Kimberly from the side. Love Kimberly. And this room, this is kind of like a storage room, so there's a lot of stuff around here. Oh no, my tripod just, that's not a big deal. Who cares? Anyway, well, that's it for this one. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you guys have video suggestions, please let me know in the comments, because I'm open to those, and I don't want to do videos that you guys don't want to watch. So just let me know what you guys want to see, and I will try to make it happen.